Hi everybody. If you've been following me, you saw the last video where we had another baby going. Just because the starter looks so wonderful, we thought we'd take advantage of that. So amazingly enough, we tried a new method for kneading. It's a slap and fold where you literally like bang it on the counter and then fold it over. We can do a video on that if you would like sometime in the future. And then also, we went ahead and stuck it in the refrigerator. After we let it rest for a couple hours on the counter, it only rose about maybe 10%, 15%. We stuck it in the refrigerator overnight because we preferred the sourdough flavor that we get from that process. And then we had a rise, a double rise, which is the first time we've had. This time we used a bread flour. So it was all bread flour for this recipe. And here you go. This is what it looks like. So we have double rise on that from the refrigerator. I let it sit out for about an hour, hour and a half so that it can warm up a little bit from the refrigerator. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it over onto my floured parchment paper. I've already started preheating the oven at 450 degrees with my Dutch oven in there. So we're gonna go ahead and turn this over and get ready to bake it. I'm gonna gently flour the edges of this so that it doesn't stick so much when I try to pull it out. And a little bit along here as well. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my dough scraper. I'm slowly gonna pull it away from the edges along here. See if I can turn it over. Which I can't, so I'm gonna have to use my fingers all the way through. A little bit of flour on them. Slowly working my way all the way to the bottom. Being careful not to deflate it. I think that should do it. There we go. This looks wonderful. Go ahead and put a little more flour across the top. And then using the lahm, there we go. This side, the side that is usually facing up, is already going to have a little bit of a thicker crust to it. So that's why I went ahead and turned it over, because I want to cut some designs with a lahm. I don't know if it's pronounced lahm or lahm, but it's L-A-H-M is the pronounce. So it's just a razor blade on the end of a little handle here. You can just use a razor blade, but that's dangerous, so these work nice. I'm going to go ahead and cut a nice little design in here. What this will do is allow your bread to not crack. So you just lie it flat like this. And you can do whatever design you want. You can see how that's opening up there. It's gonna hopefully make a really pretty design. I want to go a little deep, but not too deep. And as you can see, it sticks a little bit sometimes. This is a fresh blade, so you want to make sure you have this one's not opening up quite as much as I'd like. Do a little bit deeper on that. That looks good. See that like that? And then as soon as the oven is finished preheating, we'll go ahead and put our bread in for 30 minutes with the lid on and check it from there. Now that our oven is preheated to 450 degrees, we're going to go ahead and open this up and get our bread in there. That looks amazing. I'm excited. Hope you guys are excited too. Put this in here. Close the door. more. Get our timer going. We're gonna start with 20 minutes, and then after that, we'll take the lid off. Okay, so it's baked for 20 minutes so far, and I'm so excited to see the design. So let's look at it while we're taking the lid off. It smells really good. Whoa, that's cool. That looks really cool. Okay, I'm gonna leave this in because it is much thicker. We got a better rise on this one. I'm gonna leave it in for another 10 minutes before I take the lid off. All right, so it's been about 8-9 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and take the lid off so we can start browning the top. Wow. So hopefully this will brown really nicely. Start with about 10 minutes. Okay, so we just baked for 10 more minutes with the lid off. So we're gonna see how brown the top got before we make a decision of whether or not it's time to pull it out. So it's definitely browning. You can see that it's browning there. I'd like to get it a little more brown. So I'm gonna keep it in here. I'm gonna set the timer for 10 minutes. Again, and then I'm going to pull out my thermometer to check the internal temperature to make sure it's cooked all the way through. Okay, so we went ahead and cooked it for about 10 minutes longer to get a nice brown top. And now we're gonna pull it out. I checked the internal temperature and we were good. We were at 190 degrees. So between 190 and 210 is what you want. Pull the bread out, put this back in there. And there you have it. Go ahead and put this on a cooling rack, but look at our rise. That looks just amazing. Our bread is ready to slice and try, and it's a little bit warm, but we let it set for about 45 minutes. That way it has time to set up really well. We're gonna go ahead and cut into it, which is such a shame because it's so beautiful and I really don't want to cut it, but I'm going to anyways because I want to try it. Crunchy, crunchy, crunchy. Ooh, soft. Bubbles. Let's try another one. It is a bread flour, so it was a little more dense. But I bet you the flavor is still wonderful because we let it proof overnight in the refrigerator, which gives it that wonderful sourdough flavor that we all love. This is really nice, actually. It's just not as bubbly as I'm used to. Look at that. Perfect to have with some over easy eggs on top, or if you cut out a circle in the middle and put some butter on top, and you can cook the egg right in the middle and it gets real crispy and crunchy, and you have like kind of like a little mini egg sandwich. So anyways, let's go ahead and give it a try. So there's our bread. It's a little more dense than our other breads have turned out. I like real crunchy pieces, so I'm going to go for the end piece here. Put a little bit of butter on there. This bread also would be really good with a little bit of garlic sprinkled on top. It's perfect. It's a perfect bread. The flavor is there. It's not too dense, which you might expect with less bubbles. Typically we get the big round air pockets. We have plenty of air pockets, or just really little ones, which is perfectly fine. Oh yeah, definitely get a lot of the sourdough flavor in this. Oh my gosh, this is so good. I love the crunchy exterior. It's not too thick and chewy and hard to pull apart. It's just right. So good. And I love butter. Butter just adds a little bit extra sweetness to the flavor. A little bit of that salt always accentuates flavor. So, I hope you guys enjoy this. We're going to go ahead and put the recipe down below. Since we kind of made the dough off video and then just baked it on video. So if you want to go ahead and try the recipe, let me know how it turns out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for future videos. And there should be photos on either side of me for you to click on for easy way to access those videos or subscribe. So have a great day, and thank you for joining us.